Welcome everyone to HueFin, also known as HueFin News. I really wanted to do this video real quick because I am under the premise, I'm now thinking that a lot of these technical indicators, a lot of this technical analysis that is out in this space in the market is only here to confuse us. And I wanted to break down this particular post right here from TradingView of an individual who's trying to give us an understanding of price discovery, right? And I already want you all to see, you can see how confusing this shape is, what is going on into the market in determining where price is going to go. If think about this, if you had to utilize this price discovery method just to determine if a particular type of garment in a retail store is a buy, is the price reasonable? Is the price cheap? Is it on discount? Is it on sale? Imagine you had to do that for everything you and I had to buy, right? It'll be nothing but confusion. Will we even buy anything? Because it takes too much just to see if a price is reasonable. Like price discovery is kind of like an oxymoron. Price doesn't need to be discovered. It is what it is. These are markets. You have people who are willing to sell, people who are willing to buy. That is the discovery. The last trade of these particular products, whether it's a cryptocurrency, whether it's a stock, even if it's a commodity, the last trade is the discovery. There's nothing else involved into that. And looking at this chart, this individual who posted this clearly is confusing the way of how the market really works, right? Just take a look. And some of this jargon is literally confusing. And then he has this posted under education. An intuitive way of understanding how valuation works. Valuation is simply translated into value. That's it. And value is only translated to what the last trade was for a particular product. Right? Simple mythology. Estimated time horizon for trading or investment horizon. Fill the diagram with the events that belong to the distant past, the relevant future, distant future, or catalysts, not fully priced in events, black swans, X swans. Then you need to estimate the probability of each event and its conditionality on other events. Then you need to come through and estimate the value of each outcome given the realization of the probabilities. Then you need to come through and find the expected probability weighted present value, update the values and events as time goes by. Come on, seriously? A more complex extended mythology. 1. Consider the events as part of a larger cycle. 2. Build a timelines of events and how the market will price them in before and after, and consider how each event and pricing is conditional on the other events. That is all open to interpretation. You cannot define any of those things. And then it's left open to what you think personally. That's it. So how is this going to help us? That's a good question. It's not. Take a look at this. He goes on and tries to, confirm how to actually break down this mythology, this diagram for price, right? The basic idea here is to consider the timeline of the price discovery process of each event. The question now is, what constitutes as an event? Who determines that? Its conditionality to other events. Then you have to quantify what that means. How does that event relate to other events related to the product, and whether it's part of the cycle? That's 3 things that is left open to interpretation that you cannot define, and that literally leaves the door open to get you into some very bad positions. So how is this benefiting us? And then you got to think about each market has its own specific price dynamics. Stocks are valued using different methods, okay, to commodities, bonds, or currencies. But overall, it is best to focus on a particular segment. So now I wanted to show you some of the comments that came through in regards to this posting on TradingView. Okay. So now you got some people here appreciating that this was posted to TradingView, right? People giving him a lot of kudos. But then you had this one comment right here from HueFin, if I pronounced that right. This is what he or she wrote. Fade whatever this guy is doing. Thank me later. So the one who posted this graph, this diagram, responded back. And this is what he wrote. My guess is that you are one of those people that shun down things that they don't understand. So he's coming in with a premise into the mind frame of HueFin, right? He thinks that this individual who posted this fade whatever this guy is doing comment, that he don't understand what was written. If he already came into the conversation or the comment with that, then that tells you that what he has done already is already confusing. Like, look at all this information. It's not the fact that it's confusing, it's the fact that you're complicated. The market is never meant to be complicated, right? It's probably to a lesser extent his fault for not including the pre-required reading. So before he even posted his diagram, there's pre-required reading, meaning that you have to read something first before you even understand what this diagram is even talking about, which is nothing new. This is what he also writes. Binomial models. Okay, this is it. Binomial models are the most basic models taught at every college finance class and widely used by quote unquote smart money. Really? You have to prove that. Tell me one institution, right? Show me one quote unquote smart money who is utilizing binomial models to place their trades, to make money. Because if that's the case, they will never come through and tell you that, because then that will let the cat out the bag and everyone would have access to that information. They're smart money for a reason. It's because they don't want to let you know anything. They want to keep you dumb. They want to keep me dumb, and they want to keep the secrets to themselves. So why would he come through and post his diagram if the so-called smart money uses it? Because they don't. Once you understand binomial models, it is really simple to understand. Oh, see? That's the concept right there that everyone wants to have, is simplicity. But this graph and all this information that he posted, it is not easy. Okay. Now, he responded back. HueFin, right? This is what he wrote. It's nice of you to assume that disagreements are only based on people's lack of knowledge. I assure you that I understand binomial models well, and if you do too, you would understand that what you just wrote basically didn't add anything new to the topic. Rather, you made it seem unnecessarily complicated and convoluted. That's what I'm telling you all. That these indicators, that these models have no purpose but to confuse us, but to make something even more complicated and convoluted and cloudy. Why use this information? You are no longer in a better position than someone who don't use it like us. Please consider writing about something that is actually applicable, or at least stop making the concept look more interesting than it actually is. You're just leading your readers in circles. There it is. Right? Somebody even wrote the comment, does this mean Bitcoin is going up? Great posts, very informative, quality work. Would love to see this applied to a stock chart somehow. This simple stuff, right? Apply what he just did with this binomial model by his diagram of quote unquote price discovery. Put it on a chart. would love to see this applied to a stock chart somehow. See, there's some reasonable people. There's some actually sound individuals in this space that even understands that what was written is even more confusing. Vampire Zoe is one of them. And this is what his response was. The binomial pricing model is widely used in practice, and practically all other financial models and formulas such as the Black-Scholes model are in some way based on it. This probably has to do with the fact that it is part of almost every finance college course out there. I suggest reading up on the basics here. Again, he didn't even answer the question. Put it on a chart. Show me this pricing discovery model on a chart and tell me where price is going to go. I'm just saying, you can actually follow that individual, but you're not going to be any better position than someone who don't, right? We need to find a way that will give us a powerful position against the trap, against knowing where price is going to go without being confused. And that's why we're here on YouTube, to show you all that you don't need to use this information just to see where price is going to go and for you to dominate this space and profit. Follow us. We're here. Make sure you maintain a profitability, and as always, trade different.